Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's the old guy, Jack. We've been having a bit of a heat wave here, so I decided I would just take a vacation from this work since neither my livelihood or my life depends on me being out here working, and I don't have any kind of air conditioning or anything. I do have a fan, I think, but I haven't used it in some time. But I've come out in the mornings and give it 30 minutes or so and when it's still a little cool. And I've been working on this Honda Bentley here. Yesterday I came out and I put my new sprocket in. It's a 15 tooth. The old one was 14, so I'm not sure what that's going to do for me. But you can see the old one here had a busted tooth on it, and it was worn out anyway. So we needed to get rid of that. The chain, I soaked that in evapor rust. This piece here, I ordered a new one because the old one was broke, and I'm no good at welding aluminum. I'm no good at welding steel either. But anyway, I ordered a new one of these off of eBay, of course. And I did get my air filter. I haven't put that in yet. I have a new air filter. The battery is new. And over here, I also found this on eBay. And that's the chain guard, both sides. And so we're going to get that on, hopefully. Well, it's got to be painted first, but I put some of this on in the smaller areas that needed a little touch up. So we'll hopefully get this sanded down nice and smooth and get some black paint on that. We do have a new seat cover. I ordered a new tail light lens, but it's too big. And so I'll have to order, I have ordered another one. I've got the aftermarket exhausts fitted, but they've got to come off in order to get all that chain guard on there. I started it up yesterday, as a matter of fact, with both mufflers on it, and it ran pretty good, but of course the carb's still leaking because I got to take that off and redo it. And what else? I got some bending to do down here. Get that straightened out. Actually, I've got a whole new front end, but that came with the bike, but I don't think I'm going to put it on. So we'll get with it. First thing we're going to do is sand this down, and everybody knows what sanding looks like, so I won't film that. I'll see you in a bit. All right, progress update. Well, that won't show very well, will it? I bet you if I get on this side, it'll show better. Well, still not great. But we got that all sanded down. Nice and smooth. Well, it's not professional grade. I can't hold on to it here. But we got a coat. I put a couple coats of primer on it after I finished sanding it down, and then put one coat of black on it. I'll put another coat of black on it. still a little sticky, so I don't think I'll do that yet. But anyway, we decided that we needed to work on the gas tank. So we dug into the petcock. I have a rebuild kit for it. And of course all the screws were pretty well rusted in there. One of them came out all the way, and one of them busted off at the top, which was easy because it still had the stem sticking out of here, and I get that with my little vice grips. And we got that one out. And then the other one busted off flat, this one down here. So that one I had to drill out, and I used a reverse drill bit. And I made a pass through it with the drill bit. And then I was able to take the punch on what was left and punch it in, and it came out. And then I ran through a tap on all of them with a little bit of PB Blaster. So they're all tapped out now. I'm not sure. This tank is rusty on the inside, so I need to fill it up with Evapo Rust and let it sit for a couple of days. And it's another cool morning, headed for 100 degrees. And I just thought I'd stop in and give you a little update on the progress this morning. Let's take a look. We got the chain guard painted. I have no plans to paint the whole bike. It does need some repair. You can see right there. The engine runs. I had it going with the exhaust on. I had to take the exhaust off to get this thing on. I had a hell of a time figuring out. This is in two pieces. There's a piece behind and the piece out front. The original one was busted, and I found one relatively inexpensive on eBay. So I ordered that. Actually, it came from the same guy that I got the chain guard from. But we're coming right along. And, I stepped through the transmission yesterday, and she just shifts smooth as butter. And I think we'll be riding this here pretty soon. Oh, yes, I almost forgot. I went and got me another bucket of Evapo Rust. And I just put the tank in there, and then I turned it over once, and I'm going to turn it over again before I knock off for the day. And hopefully that'll eat all that rust out of there. It did a pretty good job out here. There was rusty stuff there and other places. I just turned this tank over. I don't know if you can see down in there or not, but it's looking pretty good in there, so I'll probably take this out and rinse it out. I bought some distilled water here. I'll rinse it out with that. And this was all covered with rust, and there was rust where the paint's chipped off. I probably will paint the tank. And we're going to do another little bit of work today. Well, we're going to correct some situations that we created, actually. So I took the tank off of this thing, and it had all kinds of nicks and scratches and everything in it. I sanded it down, and I sprayed it with some Rust-Oleum automotive primer, and I sanded that down nice and smooth, and I painted it with some Rust-Oleum engine enamel, which is supposed to stand up to gas, which would be good on a gas tank, right? And then I did something that I shouldn't have done. I let it sit for, probably 2 to 3 hours, and I come out and I touched it, and it wasn't sticky anymore, so I assumed it was set up. And then I sprayed it with a second coat. Not good. You can see that. It's what they call orange peel, and it just, the whole thing is done like that. At this point, the best thing to do is just strip it completely. I didn't strip it, all the paint off of it, I just sanded it down till it was smooth. So I'm going to strip it with some stripper and start from bare metal. And I've got some Duplicolor gloss black and some Duplicolor clear on the way, and I'm going to do it with that. I also actually, there's a better clear, and I may use that. Spray Max 2K. I know that stuff works. I'm not sure it works with the Duplicolor, but I think it does. So we're going to give it a try, and we're going to have a little piece of metal out here that we're going to spray it on first and make sure it works right. Anyway, to set the float level, let me get this out of here. You measure from the top of this down to the top of the float. And I was concerned that, that main jet doesn't go down all the way. You can see threads there. But apparently that's the way it is. And then I got to looking at the needle and seat. And when the tab that's on the floats here first hits it, you turn it upside down like this, and when that tab first hits it, that little spring-loaded thingy in there, I don't know, that post that's in the center of the needle, sinks down a ways. And I couldn't get, it's supposed to measure from here, from the top of this down to the top of there. It's supposed to be like 7 millimeters. And I was getting like 10 to 12. And when I looked at it, when this tab first contacts it, I'm repeating myself, it continues to move down. So there wasn't enough tension on the spring on that needle, and I ordered another needle and seat from Partzilla, which is supposedly an OEM one. Alrighty, 2 coats of clean strip. I think this might be some old stuff, and I think it might be before they took all the stuff out of it. It works pretty good. But when you get down to the Honda paint, this side, I never took the paint off of it because it's, like I said, it's behind the chrome. But when you get down to the Honda paint, it's a lot more durable than Rust-Oleum, I guarantee you that. Anyway, I'm going to let this sit for a little while, Go ahead and have a cup of coffee, come back out and see what I can get off of it, and I'll probably take a wire brush to it. Well, folks, I got in the new, brandy new Honda brand needle and seat. I don't know if it's going to make a difference or not, but I'm going to have to get a socket that goes on it. Fat fingers are not good for this job. All right. Let me compare the two side by side. They look exactly the same, so I don't think it's going to make a difference. Well, that looks about right. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm out here in the garage finally. I haven't been spending much time out here. You'll see off to my left on the photo there in the video, there's a gray gas tank. I think I explained the problems I had with that. But this is stripped down to bare metal and then one coat of primer on it right now. So I'll be working on that. I got some different paint than I had before. So over here, what do we got? Well, we got the carburetor. We put the needle and seat in it properly, adjusted it as best we could, and we're going to take my little auxiliary tank, put some premium gas in it, hook it up to that. So next thing we're going to do is try and start it up with the tank, so I'll be back. Okay, let's see if it'll start. I turned the gas on for a minute just to get the carb full, and then I turned it back off again. Let's see. She runs, but she sure does smoke, especially that right side cylinder. So I'm going to go ahead and put all the parts back on it. I'll put the seat cover back on it. I'll finish painting the tank. I will not fix the splits in the sheet metal. If somebody wants to buy it, they can do that part themselves. So we'll leave it at that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I went out and started up the old Bentley this morning, and didn't want to run except with the choke on, just a little bit. And on top of that, it's yeah, it's kind of smoking like an old stove. So anyway, it needs a new top end. So I'm going to put that aside for now and figure out what parts I need, because I got to get in there and find out what the bore looks like and that kind of stuff. So I'll probably have to pull that engine out. I'm going to set it aside. If anybody's interested in buying it, it's got a lot of new parts on it. I got darn near everything. Just send me a comment and I'll let you know what all is on it that's new and what it's going to need. It's going to need a top end rebuild for sure. I think if it has valve seals, they're leaking because it's putting out stuff through the smoke through the crankcase. What else? It's going to need rings. It may need to be bored out. I'm not sure. The bottom end seems fine. The transmission shift's fine, and so on. So if you're interested, I'll give you a good deal on it. And I'm going to move on to something else right now. And if I don't get any interest, why, I'll just get back to it sometime in the future if I don't die first. So we'll see you on the next one.